Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're having a great day, and thank you so much for joining me on my daily trade review. What did we do right? What did we do wrong? And how are we going to improve into the future? This is a 2-in-1. I was kind of a little slow. I got pretty excited yesterday. Went out celebrating. So we'll go over everything, and we had a 2,300% gainer, which is absolutely insane on one of our SBET option contracts. So we're going to talk about that. Go through, our morning watch list, and then I just decided to take the day off. I don't have to trade every single day. Let's just call it good and, recoup tomorrow. So there's a bit of a watch list here in the morning to start the day out. We're going to maybe keep this on our watch list as far as right now. NUWE. This was yesterday, right? We had a really nice after hours movement, and then pre-market continuation, and then we have a really nice, breakdown of VWAP here, holding the 200 as a trend with our reversal signal, pairing it with a key level breakout of VWAP and a trend retest here of the 21. The rest is history. You get a gap fill up to the top, and it even expands over the gap by a little bit. So this is just a beautiful textbook play here in the morning. If you took it and then it even gapped up aggressively so to open the market and then just died. But anything that runs this aggressive is not going to stay running that aggressive. At best, it bleeds down a bit and consolidates, right? Just a healthy pullback. Let's check that out as well. This was a massive run, like 200, 300%, right? So very crazy. RGTI was on the scanners as well. Yesterday, never mind today. Today holding, right? It didn't give it back, which is great. And this is, look at the market cap, right? This is a much larger market cap. It can weather the storm. One of my favorite quantum names, I'm sure you're familiar. It even had news, demonstrates industry's largest multi-chip quantum computer, halves the 2-qubit gate error rate. Whatever that means. But, they're progressing, which is pretty cool. And, run from 12 to 17 on something that's so big is no joke, right? And holding it today, and even like progressing back upwards from the morning pullback. So RGTI doing things in the sector. If you want to look at this on the 1 day too, this is probably more of a swing than a day trade, but it provides enough to day trade as well. And this is a daily gap here that we're about to fill as well, if we want to get a little bit more involved in that, right? Something that we had charted out a little earlier. We just need to extend over, and well, by golly, I bet you we hit 17. On that note, the SBET gap, we just kept selling that yesterday as well. We filled the gap, which is crazy, all the way up to 30, and even went higher to 43. They did announce an offering today. They were doing an at the money, which kind of explains the sell-off here. But look how well it handled the news. Look how well it handled the offering news. Dunks it down, and it's right back up. Oh my gosh. So I'm scaling out more. I don't want to be involved in, an early morning sell-off. I'm going to be sleeping tomorrow. So, but what this could provide is an opportunity to reload, which is pretty cool. So we did that yesterday as well. Game really quick. We'll talk about that. They're doing like an Ethereum treasury, which is similar to SBET, so it's kind of like a sympathy play. Eyes on this, and it was had that after hours movement, and then it kind of was doing pre-market and even market open. But massive pullback here. They must have done an offering or something, because this is brutal. That's not good. QLGN. Well, a lot of these things come with dilution, right? A lot of these news pops. Wow, ZZs. So we wanted to play this at a breakout. We didn't get it, right? So there's no entry here. Kind of a bummer, right? Your downtrend, right? Attempting the breakout, but you need a candle to open and close above before you take it, or else it's not worthwhile. In the morning, you could have taken this, right? It had the news pop, pullback, VWAP reclaim. So a better way to trade this would have been in the morning, right? Here's our candle above. Maybe you even get it on the second one. Let's not be perfect. Here's your pullback low. And here's your 1-to-1. Beautiful. You get it here, and if you don't get a fill, then you are fucked. Which is a little risky biskies, but it's definitely there. You should have gotten it. And that's why maybe an optimal entry is better, right? Because then you get to that 1-to-1 a little bit better or easier with success. Pretty tight play, though. So, not great. We didn't take it, so it doesn't matter. But we did have the downtrend drawn, and we were ready to take entry if we did break above that downtrend. Morning trade, and then nothing. I took off. I was like, well, if this, there's no strength here, there's no strength anywhere, why bother? And then the SBET contract. So here it is, 57 cents to $13.70 in just a few days as we fill that gap, which is absolutely insane. 2,300%, which is aggressive. One of my best plays. I think my best play ever was 5,000% on a Bed Bath & Beyond contract on its one of those final runs. But this is definitely up there. This is really good for us. Moving on to today. WINT had news yesterday launching a crypto treasury, which is great, I guess. They kind of died, though, right? We couldn't get above VWAP to take an entry here yesterday. And I think that's why we laughed. We're just like, this is such garbage, right? Like, I can't even get the stock to be in a position where there's an entry model, right? So here, you've got your VWAP break, you pull back, and you want to enter in on the reclaim, but you don't even get the entry because it can't even provide it, which is brutal. And we've seen that in the last ticker too. So this is a big reason why we left yesterday. But it had the news died down, and today actually got some movement here, which is pretty cool. Right to start the day too. And it was just trending, holding VWAP, holding the 200. I was pretty greedy here. This is basically right when I woke up. Getting in on the trend retest. Stop is below it. Quick scalp up. Not much. It did pay nicely. If we could have traded this better, right, and it would have been a wider stop using this low, and then we have a higher take profit. But then we get to go to a 2-to-1 instead of just our 1-to-1, right? So it's pretty greedy on this. Is keep it tight. We're already so high. I don't want to expose myself to the downside. And it that worked too, but in reality, you could have had a better trade if you took more risk. And that's the whole game, risk versus reward, right? And then just died off. I think, a lot of these plays do that when the hype slowly fades. BSLK. This provided for us nicely as well in the morning. News pop, pullback, holds the 200, reversal, key level breakout, trend retest. Take my entry on the reclaim here. 1-to-1, easy. This did go for a secondary exit if you missed it. Always love to see that, but eventually did not hold any of our gains, which is unfortunate. We're playing this, looks like last week too, a little bit. VCLN. This was the one. It just took all the volume. This was absolutely insane. And someone knew something here because right out of the gate, it's going crazy. Holds VWAP, expands up, holds VWAP in the 200. And then look at this one. Go absolute god bar. And that's why I say someone knew something, because this is preloading. This is all front loading. So when you see stuff like that, it's kind of suspect, right? And then the news drops, boom. But people knew about the news beforehand. Look at this single bar on the news drop. 120% in 1 minute. And then everyone who's preloading here is selling here. And that's where you get that massive pullback from, is everyone selling, right? And then here's all the FOMO. People are like, ooh, I'm going to get in on that leg up. And then it dumps on them again. They did pipe offering at $9, which is the craziest thing too. So like, oh, we're going to buy 500 million in crypto, but we're also selling 50 million shares at $9. So it's crazy. Why would you ever pay $60 for that, or even 26? But y'all do you, y'all do you. It's just crazy that this happened. Like, what a freaking move, bro. That's like parabolic in nature. There's VLCN, DGXX. They've got some NVIDIA black walls, which are going to increase revenue, but that's in the future, not now. So, get that NVIDIA headline. News pop, breaks down VWAP, but doesn't reclaim. So, just there's no entry model here. You'd want this to break VWAP, and then you put your stop here, your entries here, and you scalp it up. It doesn't provide anything for us though all day. And then Tron, Justin Sun, is backed company, I suppose, for the crypto. SRM had a name change, right? Not doing much. Really gross, but popped up and then dumped down. That's disgusting. That's a 37% drop. So pretty volatile. Not bad. But I don't like to be involved in stuff like that. Then Bull, doing pretty good. Well, really doing good. Dang. Way to gap fill, right? On the 1 day. Right, there's this gap down it had. Then we break into the gap, and you take entry in the gap, stop below the gap, scalp it up. Really easy stuff. Right, you would have seen it enter the gap here, or even entries here are really good, right, at that morning dump with your stop loss below the gap. And then you could be taking profits at the top of the gap, and if you get above it, that's great. There's a second and third gap, but we're gonna have to work for that a little bit harder. We're gonna look at the options chain on this tomorrow, and maybe we can get a nice SBET type play. Moving on. We talked about WINT. We talked about BSLK, Daily Watch, PDYN. Had drone news. They're like, we're gonna maintain drone superior. Oh, this really held. Wow. Right out of the gate, we're like, wow, this is strong. Pulled back, held VWAP. Then kind of all day went, and it did pull back, consolidated quite a bit, but holding the 200 really aggressively here. For what could be a multi-day run. Let's take a look at the 1 day. Oh, it's up there already. But a lot of room on this. Oh wow, we've been so go long, you fool. Man, did we? We should have went bet the house on this. That's why sometimes it's nice to take a look at the longer term outlook as well as just the day trades. All right, this had just a beautiful day though. Holy Toledos. Was there gap fills here? Probably. I mean, that's too small to be relevant. That one cleared really easily. I mean, this is just clear sailing, right? Yeah, lots of room to the upside here still. Oops. We'll see how it performs in the coming days, though. Wow, nice. Yeah, I like this company quite a bit. PDYN AI Corp. Only 500 million still. It's getting bigger day by day, but I like it quite a bit. Not that I would be going out and buying it here, but still a company that I like. Daily trades, XXII, no buenos. This is why I took it easy today as well. Right out of the gates, this is looking pretty good. We have a reversal with a halt up. So we say, okay, gap fill strategy. We take our entries in the gap with a stop below the gap. It was just a bad entry, bad risk reward. Like, it was so close. It was so close, but just didn't, sustain, and it breaks down. We get out. So that's no bueno. And then after hours, TELO was doing something, I guess. How is that holding? Oh, hello. TELO. Wow. Okay, really nice. So this is going to be on watch tomorrow. No news here. We also have BZAI securing contract to deliver hybrid AI infrastructure across Asia. Interesting. Eyes on that as well. And then we're scaling out, more today. Like I think I sold some ASTS. I sold a bunch more of. I think some Coinbase. Getting our market value of each trade below 5,000, right? Just so we're not overexposed on a single ticker. This Tesla. Oh, but Tesla's a loser. And then dumping it into GameStop. It'll go. The account is 47 days old, and we're up $19,000, which is pretty decent. Trying to just do the 10% a month, right? 10% every month. That's really good for me. And if we can maintain that specifically through market downturns, right? Like, okay, 10% when the market's up is easy, but can you, A, protect yourself against a downturn to hold that 10% and not give it back, but B, also maybe hopefully make a little on your way down as well, right? So a long way to go with that account still. GameStop, buy the rumor, sell the news. They're teasing the push start arcade a couple times now. We see the Twitter rebrand and stuff. So again, buy the rumor, sell the news. IV is hella low. Like I think August 15, 25 IV is like in the 20%. It is like rock bottom. A little close on the expiry, but I think worth a couple lottos, like 80 cents each or something. So pretty cheap. TELO. That's all I've got for you today, though. So thank you all so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon in the next.